Well, it looks like the original plans for WrestlePalooza could be back in the cards for Saturday night's main event. It seems like in the last couple of weeks, both on Raw and Smackdown, the company's really been shifting things up. Of course, we've had a major injury in Seth Rollins, which has caused a major mix-up and a change of scenes on Monday Night Raw for the world title in the main event. However, on this recent Smackdown, we just had Jade Cargill turn heel. Last week, Dragunov winning the United States Championship. So with all these changes, and for the most part, for the better, although Jade Cargill's heel turn, I'm not sure if it was needed. I personally think she was doing quite well as a babyface. I would much rather have Tiffany Stratton turn heel, even if she lost the title or she kept the title. Irrespective, she should have really been the one who turned heel, not Jade Cargill. But nonetheless, a change is always welcome. It's making things more fresh. The one thing that hasn't changed, however, is the main event scene on SmackDown. It's back to Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. Of course, Jacob Fatu's been taken out by an assailant who is still at large. Rumors going around, you know, maybe if it's Drew McIntyre is too predictable, could it be Cody Rhodes? But then that indicates a heel turn. In my eyes, the most obvious pick for this is Randy Orton. I assume it's Randy Orton, and this entire picture, to me, screams that the WWE are going back to the original plans they had for WrestlePalooza's main event, where Randy Orton's going to be involved in the finish of the match between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. Now, Saturday night's main event is honestly painting itself up to be a pretty decent show. Speaking of things changing up, I'll go back to for a second. We're guaranteed to get a new World Heavyweight Champion, obviously, because the championship is now vacated. I'll get into that in the Raw episode that I cover later on in this week. But back to Drew and Cody. Something inside of me tells me that the company's only going to run this match again because the ending is going to be different. Now, there's a couple of ways the ending could be different, because I generally do not believe they're going to go down the route again where it's going to be a normal match and Cody Rhodes picks up the victory and the show closes out. WrestlePalooza was of course downvoted by ESPN themselves. It was not received very well by the fans out there as well. So really, the way the WWE are positioning everything in the company, changing everything up, maybe installing a fresh coat of paint on the entire product heading into 2026, there's arguably no bigger way than getting the WWE Championship to be put on the shoulders of Drew McIntyre. However, I guarantee this is when we see Randy Orton once again show his face, and this could play out in two scenarios. Number one is the more obvious one. Randy comes out, ultimately costs Drew McIntyre the championship, saves Cody Rhodes again, which although is not as exciting, it's still a better outcome than what they had at WrestlePalooza, meaning it's not the exact same thing or way of ending the match as they did at WrestlePalooza, which was very bland and vanilla. As we know, the original plans once again included Randy Orton. So option A here, the more safer one, is going to be having Randy Orton come out, cost Drew McIntyre the title, save Cody Rhodes, and then they continue to tease like they've been teasing Randy Orton, staring at that championship. And maybe this leads into Survivor Series where they have a breakdown. Because ultimately, the only way this is going to end, whether it's at Saturday night's main event or whether it's at a future PLE later on this year, is Randy Orton turning heel. That's the only way they're going to be able to execute on this program between Rhodes and Orton. And even with this safe option, option A, it can still include the fact that Orton took out Jacob Fatu. Like, he's doing all these things behind the scenes to continue keeping the trust and the relationship with Cody Rhodes, so he can just strike as, you know, the little snake that he is. Well, he's not little actually, the humongous snake that he is, to go out and strike on Cody Rhodes when he's least expecting. The other option is a bit more of a bolder one. It's a bit more of a riskier one. And sometimes I feel like the company doesn't do a good job in like really rattling things up. But I genuinely think with all the displeasure online and how bad WrestlePalooza went and how well Crown Jewel did, and some of the changes they made around that PLE and some of the changes around the entire product as of late, there could be a chance that Randy Orton, again, he's showing up during that main event, ends up either intentionally or inadvertently costing Cody Rhodes the WWE Championship and giving us a new champion in Drew McIntyre. Which I know is a bit left field right now, but I generally do not think that they're rerunning this match. Like I said, I'll say it again, for the exact same reasons and the same outcome they did at WrestlePalooza. There's going to be a major change up here, and the biggest change up is, of course, giving the championship to Drew McIntyre. Of course, very well deserved. He's earned the right to be champion once again, this time longer than 5 minutes, as he did at WrestleMania a couple of years ago. But then this drives a program between Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and you can insert Randy Orton you know, and keep this a triple threat, maybe for the better part of this year as a feud, where either we haven't turned Randy heel yet, as in when he cost Cody Rhodes the championship, it was an accident, you know, it was like a mix up, and Drew McIntyre takes advantage. So Randy and Cody are still on good terms, but like, you know, they've had a major mishap, primarily because of Randy Orton's mistakes that he made, which ultimately made Cody lose the match. Now, if they go down this route and they keep things kind of civil, and Cody's on this crusade to win his championship back, you've got Randy there sabotaging every single step that he takes, you know. He could be doing it in more indirect ways. Again, we've got the time to build till next year's WrestleMania. I think that's when the match should take place. And then Randy could again wait till Cody Rhodes picks up the championship, because I feel like if Drew does win, Cody's going to win back the championship probably before the Royal Rumble, or at least at the Royal Rumble. And that is the latest stage that we are going to get that definitive, inevitable Randy Orton heel turn, where at this point, as soon as Rhodes is champion again, bam, here comes Randy, and he's going to take out Cody Rhodes and make it evidently clear he's a heel, and he's here for Cody Rhodes, and he's here for the championship. And you might be asking, why the hell would Randy Orton come out at Saturday night's main event, still as a babyface playing the role, cost Cody Rhodes accidentally, and then strike at a later date? Well, one simple answer. Randy being a heel is not a traditional heel. Randy is not the type of heel that's going to go out into a crowd and, you know, talk about their football team. He might do that as well, but he's not going to go out to a crowd and be like, oh yeah, your football team sucks, or they, you know, they've never won any championships. You know, the traditional cheap heat, as they call it. Randy's heel turns are always more sinister, and I think because this one is so overdue, and the state of the product right now, I think they're going to turn Randy to be this malicious, yeah, callbacks to 09, but probably even worse, maybe, sadistic human being who doesn't just want to become a 15-time world champion. Of course, that is his primary goal here. But he also has a goal, an agenda, but to cause the most amount of havoc, chaos, and to ultimately play mind games where Cody losing the belt to Drew McIntyre is already a major hit to Cody Rhodes' psyche. It's Randy in the background weakening Cody Rhodes. And as time progresses and we progress into early next year, where I assume where Randy Orton would definitively go ahead and strike and become a heel. At this point, you already got into Cody Rhodes' head. You know what I mean? Our blonde boy here is thinking, what can I trust? What can I not trust? You know? Is Cody blonde? White hair? I don't know if you can call that blonde. But by this point, there's a chink in his armor. And Randy is the one that positioned that. So this goes to show again that Randy is the veteran here. He's got more experience than Cody. He's taught Cody pretty much everything he knows from Legacy days. But Randy has been sitting in the tall grass. I'm sure snakes sit in tall grass. And he's been waiting for the right opportunity. If he just comes in and becomes a heel at Saturday night's main event, yes, that's doable. Straight away, and he takes out Cody Rhodes. It's, I don't know, Saturday night's main events, man. I mean, one of them is already getting seen at the end of the year, you know, retirement match. I think this needs to be like a Survivor Series moment or a Royal Rumble moment. But as long as this time there's a change, and that change is just Drew McIntyre picking up the championship, keeping the story brewing between Cody and Randy, whilst Rhodes is trying to go after Drew to get his championship back. And each time he comes close, something goes wrong. Just like something happened to Jacob Fatu. Something happens to Cody Rhodes. Ultimately, Cody winning right in the end, I would say Royal Rumble 2026 in Saudi Arabia, and that in front of the Saudi fans. Because as we know, they get hot with Randy, they love Randy. He comes out and he makes it clear every single thing he's done has been all him, and he's done it for nobody else but himself. And by that point, we're close to WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes needs to be on his A game, as the QB1 he likes to call himself, and it's too late. It's just too late. And we've got the bastard-like heel again in Randy Orton, and we go into a showdown at WrestleMania 42. So this is how I see Saturday night's main event playing out. Obviously, option one, the more safer one. And option two, if this happens, oh, yeah. I mean, I think option one is probably more likely. It's a safer option for the company. But I still do think, honestly, there is a chance that we get option B. And if we do, by God, like we're gonna be eating good. So let's see how it goes. This SmackDown episode and recent ones, like I've been mentioning, have been picking up. Again, I'm telling you, the company has picked up on the ESPN reviews. They've listened, not because they want to, but because they have to listen to the displeasure that's coming from fans. So what's one way to shut us up, rattle things up, and give us something that we did not see coming, or we have been seeing coming for like 2 years now in Randy Orton, and finally get him to do what he needs to do. But anyways, that's everything from my end for this video. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.